Folks, a quick video today on the 2.5 Jetta and why it's the best Jetta to buy. So I've got the wife's Jetta in today for service at 155,000 miles. We bought it with around 110 on it about 2 years ago, and it's been surprisingly reliable. Let me tell you about this car. So we bought this car because we didn't want an SUV. This is the Sportwagen model. And it is a automatic. And it has a few quirks, but the 2.5 cars have way fewer quirks than the 1.8 and 2.0 turbo cars. They have some really serious engine reliability problems and a few other problems that I wasn't interested in those at all. We wanted an inexpensive, reliable station wagon. Didn't like Volvos. Mercedes were too expensive to fix and unreliable, and BMWs were too expensive to buy. So this is what we wound up with. So I'm going to go over a few things on the 2.5 car that you want to look out for if you're shopping for one, or you already own one, and we'll go through those now. So first, the PVC system on this car is attached to the cam cover, which is a plastic cam cover. There's a lot of plastic on this car, as you'll see. And the PVC diaphragm can go bad. You're going to find that under this ridiculous cover that gets in your way every time you want to do something to the car. But it's going to be back in here. It's a round diaphragm, and it has a kind of a snap clip cover that goes on. And you can buy those from Dorman as replacements. I've read differing reviews about them, if they're reliable or not. It seems like they prematurely fail, even more so than the Volkswagen ones. I didn't trust that. I bought a new valve cover valve cover on Amazon, and it was a little bit over $100, I think. It comes with new bolts and everything. Genuine Volkswagen part. You don't want to get a copy on something like that. Next, we're going to talk about the vacuum pump. And I'm going to scoot you down in here so you can see it. It's down, hidden below here. Alright, so this big rectangular thing is the vacuum pump. Those have a rubber gasket around the perimeter and an O-ring, and they will go bad over time. And what will happen is it'll start to leak oil pretty bad. It's going to look like you've got a rear main seal leak or something, but it's actually going to be this most likely. And Volkswagen, of course, will want to sell you a completely new pump for over $100. But I found a seller on Amazon who will sell you just the gaskets for about $35. And they are identical to what is on there now. I don't know how the guy found them, but kudos to him. Now, this car is an automatic. There's the shift linkage. And the shop manual will tell you that you have to pull the transmission out to replace this, because that shift lever pin bolt thing sticking up there is going to be in the way. You don't have to do that. You can take off the screws for the cover and remove that pump if you kind of finagle it around the stud that's going to be sticking up there. It is possible to do it without pulling transmission out, and there's some people on YouTube that'll show you how to do it. Another quirk that all these cars have is this ridiculous plastic cartridge oil filter. These are the dumbest thing I've ever seen on, well, no, not on a Volkswagen. I've seen dumber things than this, but it's pretty stupid. The reason it's stupid is, first of all, it's plastic. There's a good chance you're going to break it unless you have the proper tools. And the proper tool is you need an oil filter socket to fix this, and you need a torque wrench to set the torque exactly correct when you tighten it up. If you're going to do it by feel, chances are you're going to wind up breaking it or leaving it too loose, and then it's going to leak. Worse than that is, above the filter cartridge is the housing that it screws into. Also plastic, and a real piece of crap. Let me show it to you. So here's the finest in German engineering. the plastic oil filter housing. It sits in the block, and it's got a bunch of like O-ring type gaskets. And guess what? It's going to leak eventually, or it's going to crack. And then you've got a really bad oil leak that you can't seem to get rid of, like the one I had on this car when I bought it. The fun of that is, to replace it, you've got to tear the entire front of the car off in what they call, laughingly, service mode. Yeah, it pretty much looked like that. If you get a base model, you get these plastic wheel covers. They're junk. They barely stay on the car, and they're really flimsy, and they tend to be in the way of the valve stems. So, get yourself a set of alloys. But you know what? That's about it. The rest of the car is really pretty dependable. The windows go up and down. The radio works. The air conditioning is, well, not the greatest, but it's a pretty dependable car. I've actually been very surprised and pleased with it. Volkswagen's resale value is terrible, so these things are a used car bargain, provided you get the one with the reliable 5-cylinder 2.5 gas engine. Fix a few of the weird quirks that it may have when you first buy it, and chances are you'll have a good, reliable car for tens of thousands of miles to come. That's my take on the Volkswagen Jetta. As a previous Jetta and Audi 4000 owner, I'm not impressed with the reliability of current Volkswagen Audi products. But this car has proven to be pretty good, and I'm going to keep this thing until the automatic transmission quits, which is a distinct possibility based on what I've heard. Thanks for watching.